Hey you geeks! It's been over a month since I've talked Tolkien. Shocking, considering that The Hobbit is my favorite fantasy book. Yes, I have 3. Moving on, it's a simple tale of going there, over there, and back again, which got me to finally read Tolkien. My parents couldn't bribe me, nor could Peter Jackson bedazzle me into reading this stuff. Rather, Tolkien endeared himself to me when I skipped the first chapter and got into the crazy adventures of Bilbo the Hobbit. The Hobbit has a deep wealth of wisdom, humor, and magic. The book is well worth the reread, even as an adult. I dare not say mature adult, have you seen my videos? But Tolkien did attend a party, not a costume party, dressed as a polar bear once. So I don't think Tolkien's work is for serious adults, whatever those are. This will be an atypical review because The Hobbit is far too plot-driven for me to break it down in my normal way. So here are 5 things I love about The Hobbit. Spoilers, duh. This book is over 75 years old. A casual tale. Listening on Audible highlights the story's origin as Christopher Tolkien's bedtime story. Tolkien only wrote it down when his son corrected him on continuity errors. So, quick asides like, his part in the story of Bilbo's great adventure is only a small one, though important. As you will see, if we ever get to the end of it, Smaug did not understand it all, though I expect you do since you know all about Bilbo's adventures to which he was referring. Are basically the Tolkien equivalent of,
"Yes, you're very smart. Shut up."
Yet, the storyteller does more. The rather boring introduction listing all of Bilbo's relations, when spoken aloud, sounds like the preface to a tall tale told at a pub. These things are never interesting in and of themselves, but they tell the reader that this is a casual tale, to be told to children or drunk adults. Neither have great capacity to understand complex stories, but they appreciate good ones. The business of adventure. One of the minor differences between children and drunk adults is the capacity to understand business.
It's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your door.
Here, Tolkien errs on the side of adults and lays out the story in terms of a proper business venture. A 14th share, I suppose, or something like it. Those were the terms, eh? But what about delivery? What about cartage? What about armed guards and tolls? He does this again in The Fellowship, but there is something so wonderfully blunt about reading a contract to rob a dragon's hoard.
Incineration.
Oh, aye, I'll melt the flesh off your bones in the blink of an eye.
This is something I've seen modern fantasy lean heavily into, or maybe it's just the sort of thing I seek in modern fantasy. Not just fighting dragons, but a defraying of costs and the arranging of funeral expenses. All very proper. Storm battle. Enough exposition, no one reads that stuff anyways. On to what originally captured my imagination. Tolkien barely describes battles, preferring to describe nature. A thunderstorm, however, can be both. The storm, which stops the party in the Misty Mountains, is only given a paragraph or 2, but it packs a wallop. More terrible still are thunder and lightning in the mountains at night, when storms come up from east and west and make war. The lightning splinters on the peaks, and the rocks shiver, and great crashes split the air and go rolling and tumbling into every cave and hollow. And the darkness is filled with overwhelming noise and sudden light. To this day, I don't know if the rock giants are literal or metaphorical, much like a stanza in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which I presume partially inspired this whole tale. The entire modern fantasy genre is born from one heck of a tongue twister, poetically telling of how terrible it is to travel in Wales. The difference between poetry and fantasy is how literally you take it.
You used a metaphor on Timon? He takes things literally.
Tolkien cuts down the middle with his soft magic. Yes, there were literal giants in Middle-earth, but are they of stone or just living in it? Wood elves aren't actually made of wood. Did thunder literally go to battle? Probs not. But metaphorically, it felt right. The problems and powers of little people. Another thing The Hobbit gets so right is the problems of little people.
The problems of three little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world.
Trudging through mud and rain is no fun, and not much better to read about. But Tolkien gets it so right, probably from his experience in the Great War. He also knows the powers of riddles in the dark. Riddles and puzzles in myths like Oedipus can be quite complex, yet Tolkien gives us little riddles between two little persons to solve a big problem. Although I have not faced the possibility of being eaten, many a time I have used riddles to get me through rough patches. The white horses on a red hill is particularly good in a pinch. Bilbo may not be a warrior, but he is one heck of a riddler.
They have to match wits with the Riddler.
No, the good kind of Riddler. The kind who keeps his wits about him when all hope is lost. That is the kind of hero anyone can be, and it's the kind I love to read about. Questionable ethics, solid morality. There is nothing like a children's tale to highlight the difference between ethics and morals.
So is this a moral situation or an ethical situation? What's the difference between morals and ethics anyway?
Bilbo is a professed burglar, and his career begins with the passive adverse possession of a mere trinket, a ring, forever branding himself a thief. To be fair, Gollum never explained his birthday present. He just demanded, "What's he got in his pocket, sis?" and tried to kill Bilbo. Yet Bilbo didn't kill Gollum, marking the second most peaceful passing of the ring.
Pity. It was pity that stayed Bilbo's hand.
Next, Bilbo burgled the Elf King's palace and broke his friends out of jail. Illegal, yes. Justified, also yes. Just like his third caper, stealing from Smaug, who, like the dragon from Beowulf, can be very petty.
Stop! You robbers, your little number's up. One of you has stolen my precious golden cup.
The dwarves had hired Bilbo to steal from a thief. Yet it led to the direct destruction of Lake Town and indirectly to the death of Smaug. Lastly, Bilbo took the Arkenstone. He was entitled to a 1/14 share, but ethics demanded he not take that. He took it trying to strike peace, didn't work, but the orcs and wolves attacked, sparing everyone from doing something highly regrettable. And Thorin forgave him in the end. What's a bit of burglary between friends? It's only property. Not bad for just a simple children's tale, raising complicated questions and telling deep truths, including the deepest truth of all, that dragons can be slain. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you would like to see more. Your patronage is greatly appreciated.